All right, everybody, if you guys are joining us, welcome to Comics and Stuff, powered by Phoenix Comics. We don't have WandaVision anymore, so I'm joined with my man, Becker. Becker reads comics, the knowing, the all-knowing, if you guys don't know. And hopefully we'll get PJ in here, but we're switching our directions to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So it looks like we're going to be able to see those guys next week, March 19th. So
That is going to be a super comic book
it,
weekend.
it is.
That's the Snyder Cut
Right,
too, right?
exactly. Yes. So let's just go right into that right out of the gate. So the Snyder Cut comes out on Thursday, and some of the mega geeks are already prepared to be off for 4 hours and took the day off so they could watch the Snyder Cut. Oh, are you one of those mega geeks, brother? Yeah,
No comment.
maybe.
No comment.
I'm so sick that day. So like I said, the mega geeks have already done that, which is awesome. I'm not going to be able to do that. But what's been a big thing right now is that you have the Snyder Cut, and then of course you have Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Of course, Kyle Bitton is absolutely wrong again. Uh, and we do know that Lobo sucks, so we're just kind of waiting for that as we move on. But uh, so everybody's thinking that the Marvel is going to pull away from the DC, and I just don't see that. I feel like they're two separate genres, but I think people are going to a lot that kind of time for the whole weekend. It's just going to be a fun filled weekend of awesomeness. What do you think, man?
Well, I think maybe U.S. Agent is Mephisto. I've seen it, so now I believe it.
it's only because he said that. Obviously,
I
Adam
was never
Marvel.
on the Blue Marvel thing, but I was definitely Team Mephisto.
I'm not I'm not saying that we're not going to see Mephisto though. I don't think
Not
that.
in this. I wouldn't think it wouldn't be.
No.
It wouldn't fit anywhere. For like and this is I have no idea what they're gonna do. I don't follow a lot of that stuff before the first episode, but just with my own US agent knowledge, I mean, he's kind of got like a really crappy list of DE listers,
Mm-hmm.
like left winger and right winger, and the power broker was how he got his powers, but I'm sure they'll do something with the U.S. government there.
Well, I have an idea. They
Lobo
probably will.
sucks.
Lobo sucks. I knew he was going to say this. He was going to come in, say Lobo sucks, and then leave. I freaking knew it. Um, so yeah, no, we got a lot of really cool people coming in. I'm probably going to suck ass at the name, so bear with me. But from what we got, obviously we have the Falcon, Anthony Mackie, and then of course the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan. I think they're going to be pretty good. I think Sebastian Stan has lost some weight. I don't really like that. I was kind of hoping that he was going to be a little bit more um, ready to fight, if you will. I guess the big bad is going to be Zemo, and
Same
we're going to,
actor.
same actor. Yep, same
Oh,
actor.
cool.
Yep, same actor. The big bad's going to be Zemo, which is going to be pretty cool. I am really looking forward to seeing the connection between the Winter Soldier and, of course, Zemo. I'm sure he's got a little bit of.
He becomes a baron in this one, maybe.
That's a fair possibility.
Like maybe I'll pay like $20 and buy a little piece of land in Bavaria, and next thing you know, he's a baron.
Mm.
I'm making fun of those sites where you can become a lord.
Oh, I was like, did that happen?
Well, because in the comic, Zemo's a Baron Zemo. He's like, he's descended from some half-assed German royalty or whatever.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I'm okay with Scottish stuff, so I just like own some Scottish thing. Do you think the Omega Red things are fake? I actually haven't heard anything for Omega Red, but I don't think that we're going to see anything with Omega Red through this. I'm going to tell you guys now that as much as you love to hear about the MCU connection to or the X-Men MCU connection
Right.
to these or whatnot, it's not happening. It's not going to happen. I mean, by all means, watch and hope. But they've already clearly said that Feige um, put in the X-Men Pietro or the X-Men, Quicksilver, specifically to jack up the comic guys. I mean,
It
that
worked.
should. Oh, it worked. It totally worked. I said all through those series is that, like, guys, they're throwing in those Easter eggs and we're eating them up. We're eating them up. We're eating them up. And really, what they were writing for is the people that had no idea what the storyline was supposed to be in the first place. And that is marketing 101. I doubt very seriously we'll see Omega Red. I know for a fact we're not going to see anything with Wolverine. We're not going to see anything with.
What about
Um,
something like the Serpent Society? I don't know what your Cap knowledge is.
so I don't think we're going to see the Serpent Society, only because we're going to see a lot of U.S. agent in this. You see what I'm saying? And then there's it's not the Super Society. It's the whatever group, I guess, that follows the Zemo fella.
Oh,
And
the Alliance of Evil.
thank you so much. Yeah,
Okay.
so we are going to
Maybe
see
a
the.
Thunderbolts reference then too there.
Or might be, but like I said, I didn't see any of that when I was researching.
Okay.
I know that we're going to see the Alliance of Evil. I know that we're going to see Zemo. He's going to be our big bad. We definitely got the Falcon. We definitely got Winter Soldier. There is going to be, or supposed to be, several cameos with Don Cheadle, and as he like kind of
War
promotes.
Machine.
Yep, and they are going to promote his new show. Um, uh, Doggone it! Of course I forgot it. It's a new show, but apparently it's going to be a War Machine show that's going to be coming out not long after this. It's going to kind of, go
Sorry, it
over.
wasn't Alliance of Evil. The Masters of Evil, right? Is that what they're called?
They're evil people, and they might be masters. I don't know. Um,
I think it's the Masters of Evil. I mean, look.
Might have to Google that shit. We are long overdue for a Thunderbolts team in the MCU.
You are very right, Nick.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so it might be a fair possibility we get an opportunity to see that. As you're Googling that, I will continue. We will get an opportunity to see Agent 13, which is pretty good because she's already in a show called The Resident. So apparently she's going to be doing a lot of work for this particular show. We will see here. Um, the show of course is going to have a little bit of a social connection. As you can see, we normally always have some kind of social thing with the MCU of some sort. Basically what they're going to be kind of touching on is the Falcon, of course, himself being a black male, and he's going to be the essentially moving into Captain America.
They
Yeah,
did that in the
exactly.
comics a few years back.
Well, so I did some research on that, and I did come across a pretty cool video, an interview with Mackie and Stan, and Mackie actually did confirm that he was fitted for a Captain America suit. So I think we are indeed going to see a Anthony Mackie Captain America, which is going to be really cool.
I'm fine with that. It was an interesting. I don't want to get into a political debate, but it made sense that they went there in the comics because I feel like Falcon's been around since the 70s as Cap's sidekick. Post Bucky and Rick Jones, Falcon probably has more time as Cap's sidekick than any of those other guys, like in sheer volumes of storylines and issues. So I think he's a logical choice to give the shield to. And then one of your go-to storylines is going to have to be like how the world would perceive it. Is he going to be held to higher standards? Like in the comics, a social media thing uprises when he goes partisan.
Mm-hmm.
He speaks against. They have an issue where some law enforcement maybe unjustly beat up a black teenager, and he comments on it. and people freak out because Cap never was partisan.
Mm-hmm.
Cap in the comic books always stayed out of like he didn't get involved in them. He just tried to resolve them. Whereas Sam, by saying what he says in the comics, takes a side. So I wonder if we'll get a similar storyline. I don't know.
Well, so some of the research that I did, I don't know what kind of storyline we're really going to be looking at. There's a lot of things that are going to be happening here. Balrock the Leaper is also going to be in this bad boy here. So
It's still George St. Pierre.
It is.
What?
I know, right? It's going to be awesome. So we'll get an opportunity to see him also in the run, which would be good. So to be honest with it, it feels like we got a lot of really cool characters, as we run up. But I'm sure if you've ever got an opportunity to see any of the behind scenes stuff that Disney Plus has been putting out, which not a lot of people have a time for that. I try and take a couple minutes just to take a look, but I will tell you that their connection, it's actually really funny. You have the serious guy, you got the guy that's got the dry humor. It's actually kind of funny. Let's see, Falcon makes more sense being a Patriot soldier than Bucky. Keep in mind that there was a Patriot soldier from the original Black Captain America, which his name actually escapes me, and that was a 1970-ish comic. And they're talking about how that particular individual has a son named Lucius.
So say this again now.
So Falcon makes more sense being a Patriot soldier than Bucky. Mm-hmm. There was actually a Patriot soldier. He's a young black male, and he was the son of or grandson of the very first Black Captain America, which I will look him up for you actually. But they're talking about him actually being
D-Man?
Hold on. Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah Bradley is the first Black Captain America. The story is more complicated than that, of course, Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers agreed to be experimented on, had the risks and benefits of super soldier serum and Vita rays. Let's see here. This is a red, white, and black #1 Truth, January 2003. And Isaiah Bradley is the first Black Captain America. And then he has a son who comes out to be Patriot. Patriot was first appeared in Young Avengers #1, April 2005. He is notable alias of Lieutenant America, but he is also obviously a young black male. And they're talking about there very well may be a possibility of debuts of those two having some kind of storyline or backstory of some sort as they kind of make their way into the social issues of having a Black Captain America. Either way, I think it's really cool because it gives us an opportunity to come across some, new and fun information that we didn't even know existed.
And has anybody gotten any pictures or anything? Do you think old Chris Evans will show up?
So they've been talking about it, and there's chatter on the back lines, but as of now, no. As a matter of fact, they have talked about in regard to Wasserman's comment here that there's a fair possibility that we could see two different Captain America debuts on the MCU, meaning that we'll have Anthony Mackie, which I'm sure that they will do everything they can possibly do to really kind of make that marketing pop, which I think will be awesome, honestly, because I like Mackie. He's an all right guy. It took me a while for me to come around on him, but I like his dry humor. And then, of course, they are also talking about Sebastian Stan, who, of course, Winter Soldier also donned the Captain America uniform or suit, if you will. There's a fair possibility that we may see both as we go through here. Now, I forget how many episodes this is going to be, but it is going to be less than the WandaVision.
Do hardcore Twitter fans of Sebastian Stan call themselves Stan Stans, or are they just Stan squared?
I
make the jokes where I can, Rick.
That's so.
It's
That
bad.
is so messed
It's
up.
bad.
That is messed up. That's like a dad joke. You know that, right?
Yeah, that was a total dad joke. Just real grown.
It's jacked up. I miss you in the shop. I miss you.
Need to get a rascal or something to get me in there.
Yeah, well, I can probably find a guy for that too, man.
No, I'm really sticking with my Doc Ock idea.
I think that's way better. I mean, it's just something
Why settle?
Backpack.
Anybody can have a scooter.
Go for the gold.
Right.
Go for the gold, really.
I'm a dreamer.
I don't think that's a bad thing, actually. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I tell you what, man, while we're here, though, as we're kind of going through some of the stuff that we're looking at or talking about, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to see if I can't pull up this.
And while Rick does that, does anybody who has something they want to see in this series? Like, if there's a character you're in charge of casting, who do you put into this that you think would fit well into a Falcon and Winter Soldier story?
Well, I actually haven't seen. So I've seen the guy that plays U.S. Agent, and he's a long-haired, bearded dude or whatnot. Clearly not, your clean-cut U.S. Agent approach. I don't know this guy. I've never seen this guy. I've never seen this guy in anything. So I don't know. But then again, if you're trying to do like the exact polar opposite of Captain America, where you follow orders, you do as you're told, and you're more of the military minded rhetoric.
I mean,
does that really require range?
Again, I don't want to make it seem like I keep trying to go political, but how I always viewed John Daniels in the late 80s when I ran into him in West Coast Avengers as he was like conservative Captain America. He was more straight and narrow. We're going to do what the government says, and heavy hand. I guess it just came off that time because whoever was writing him when I read him, like always would like the big joke on him was always like they would call him, "Oh, you're just another Reagan guy," like. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so maybe that's why I viewed it that way. But I remember he used to always call the other Avengers bleeding heart liberals and stuff.
Well, and I think the U.S. Agent, I think we're going to see a lot of that. Wyatt Russell, he's going to be the guy that's playing the U.S. Agent guy. I mean,
okay. I didn't even know who was playing him.
Yeah, Wyatt Russell is his name. He's an LA guy. See here. His parents are, oh, Jesus, that's why. Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. There we go. So that explains a whole lot.
He's the son?
He is the son, yeah.
I wonder if he's the one Bruce Campbell wrote about. In Bruce Campbell's first book, If Chins Could Kill, Confessions of a B-Movie Actor, he talks about getting invited to Kurt and Goldie's for dinner while he was doing the second Snake Plissken movie. Where did he escape from? L.A. Escape from L.A. So they had Goldie and Kurt had Bruce Campbell over for dinner, and he found out after the fact he only got invited because their son, who was like a preteen at the time, a teenager, wanted or was a big fan of Army of Darkness and wanted to meet Ash.
I see. So that would make a lot of sense then, wouldn't it?
I wonder if that's him.
I would probably say it is. Let's see here. I'm going to share some of this fine knowledge with you, good sir. I think you'll dig it.
Wyatt Russell.
So, so we were kind of talking about how this Isaiah Bradley character, the first
Oh, I
black
remember
Captain
him.
America. Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, this right here, I mean, this is pretty cool. However, they're saying that this gentleman here, Carl Lumbly, which is on the cast list, is in fact going to be our Isaiah Bradley guy. So obviously he's an older guy. I think he'll probably be, a nice addition, if you will. Um, but I don't know. This is kind of cool, and I think it'd be cool if we get an opportunity to see like some of those Marvel voices and stuff like that. Moving forward with, um, just kind of where we are here, man. Let's see here. My bad. All right, so I want to get down here to Patriot and talk a little bit about Patriot because we are probably most likely going to see him. I'm not sure who's going to be playing this guy, but like I said, I mean we're looking at Patriot. Obviously, Patriot is the name of three fictional superheroes. Obviously, it's what's really kind of cool is that he's related to Isaiah Bradley, which is pretty awesome. So like I said, we got that fun connection.
His first appearance is Young Avengers #1. You said for all the people who want to go chase those keys.
Yeah, I actually, with me missing PJ, I wanted to get those dates out to just kind of go over there with that. But I will say that I have an idea that both of those books, the 2003 book and the 2005 book, is just going to be pretty insane. So when I get over here to the cast list, essentially, obviously it shows Carl Lumley, and there obviously we know that we're going to see Don Cheadle on the cast list here, and he will probably be. Mm-hmm. And then, as I told you, George St. Pierre, Batroc, he's going to be in there. That's going to be pretty cool.
Only in Marvel could a guy's power be jumping.
I mean, I got nothing, dude. I was going to say, like, yeah, totally. I mean,
like
that makes
DC, they always had the super overpowered heroes and villains. Like, their guys can break planets, and then you had Stan and Jack over there. Like, how about a guy that jumps? What else does he do? Nothing. He's just got powerful legs.
Just some bitch just jumps around. Really, is. Just
come on. These are the guys that brought you Stiltman.
Ah, yes.
A guy whose power is to get taller.
Well, I mean, who doesn't want to be taller? Really?
And more unstable. Because if he gets taller, the weight's all off.
That's so stupid. I'm trying to remember that one character or whatnot. He's like, well, I'll have to remember. We were making fun of that guy too. It was not appropriate. I'll just tell you that.
I mean, DC has their share of guys with really bizarre powers. I'm looking at you, arms fall off, boy. That was literally the kid's powers. Arms fell off and regrew really fast.
It's just like sneezes and they just fall off.
Yeah, like I don't know what scenarios that would be handy in. Like, I just can't think of a job for you, sir.
Yeah, I totally didn't mean to drop it. My arms fell off.
Yeah, arms fall off, boy.
Wow.
Terrible.
Absolutely. John Langman, Falcon taking Captain America mantle and passing on to Bucky, and dons the Patriot name in the new MCU. Once again, I think we're really going to be trouncing on the marketing ploy for Patriot, especially if we're getting an opportunity to see a Carl Lumley. I don't know if we're going to actually just like trample down the line of how many Patriot soldiers we're going to see. I mean, we've seen Steve Rogers. We're comfortable with Steve Rogers. We're probably all going to hate the shit out of Russell Walker, because he's going to be kind of like the douchey soldier, kind of vibe, and nobody likes that. So I don't know. And then we're gonna see, um, a very fair, driven Anthony Mackie, which I think is going to be great. And if we do, in fact, get an opportunity to see, Winter Soldier, that's going to be good. I honestly don't think that we'll see Winter Soldier. Um, I don't think that we'll see him as a Captain America in this run. We may later on down the line, but I think Zemo. Uh, we're going to have a interesting Zemo situation where he starts rattling off all that bullshit and trying to take over the Winter Soldier, and I think that's going to be as we kind of complete this series. I think that's how that fight's
Here,
going to be.
here would be my one. I kind of was sitting here thinking about who I thought would fit in to the storyline, and I said it earlier, but I'm going to go back to it. Power Broker. In the comic books, Power Broker is who U.S. Agent gets his powers from.
Right.
I would like to see him show up in the MCU and be a recurring. Do you remember that you watched all the Netflix ones, right?
Of course.
Turk. You know how Turk was in all the Netflix shows? The street level guy that was always getting busted by everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd shake him down for information.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see Power Broker used in the MCU similarly, just because it's a character that always intrigued me in the comics. Because if you did live in a world of superpowered beings, much like in Spider-Man Homecoming, I think you would see people trying to even the playing field and offering to sell people powers. Now, the Power Broker, he's like always slinging something. I think he was somehow involved in the origins of Cloak and Dagger. He sold U.S. Agent his powers, and then like would get back end money from it. Like, oh, I'll make you super kid, but then you're gonna owe me a percentage of your earnings.
Right.
That's very realistic to me, because I feel like if we lived in a world of superheroes, there'd be somebody trying to exploit it.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if Power Broker might be somebody that we haven't seen, or we have no idea is coming in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we don't have, plenty of characters that we don't know what they're doing. But I mean, Power Broker. I mean, this is pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the last time he showed up in comics. I'm sure he's showed up in comics since. The last storyline I read with him would have been a few years back in Ant-Man, and he showed up with an app for supervillains called Hench, and it was like Uber.
Right.
So basically, say you're a villain and you need to get a squad together to help you knock over a bank or break into a chemical factory.
Just hit me up on
you.
Hench.
You just log into Hench and it matches you with henchmen in your area.
Just hit me up with Hench. Yeah. What's up? Looks
I
like
thought it was a great idea.
Here, this thing says his first appearance is Captain America number 230. Power Broker Incorporated.
However, he's changed. They've changed his look over the years.
Well, so I'm looking at this, and they're saying the first appearance is Machine Man number 6 in 1978, and Power Broker The Thing number 35 in 1986, which we might actually have that one. So I'm not sure what exactly we're going to really see as the actual first appearance. But Spectre,
John Wayne makes a good point. It's kind of like The Boys, how powers are kind of sold, as it were.
Well, I mean, me personally, I've always liked that kind of connection. That the connection of there's always that fair possibility, if you will, that I don't know. My bad. Let me get back over to it. That like you can, I don't know, you can sell that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what makes this a lot more real, is because they know that people in general are greedy and would buy something like that and would want to be connected with something like that and would want to buy um, their superhero, if you will.
Oh, it was a major plot point for a while in West Coast Avengers because Hawkeye really resented U.S. Agent. You kind of got the feeling there was like power envy there because Agent was much stronger than him and, you know, more physically capable than the guy with a bow and arrow. Um, but Hawkeye would call him out and be like, there's nothing special about you. You didn't work hard to get to where you're at. You just gave somebody money and they gave you superpowers.
Right, right. And therein lies the issue. You know what I mean? I think if you buy your way into being a superhero, you know what I mean. Then we're really just more along the lines of looking at the superficial part of being a hero, and that's really just not being a hero at all.
One of my absolute favorite issues of a comic book, back when we were younger, Rick, they actually made stand by themselves issues. Everybody's writing for the trade paperback now, so it's always part 1 of 5 or part 1 of 7. But back in the day, they would just, comic creators just give you a standalone story a lot of the time. Like you would just have an issue that was just a self-contained thing.
Right.
And for one of my favorite self-contained stories was West Coast Avengers 69, where U.S. Agent and Hawkeye decide to get all their problems out in the open, and they go meet down on a beach and beat the heck out of each other.
Man, I I miss things like that. I'm just gonna go punch
I
on
think we
your head.
lost something when everybody started like working for the trade paperback because as a writer, you want your story reprinted as much as possible because that's royalties, that's money. So I think most people when they get a chance at a comic book, they try to put together a 5-part story because that's like the minimum you would need to get a trade paperback.
Mhm. And that's odd to me, man, because as far as being an owner, those trade paperbacks, like, there's really not much of there's no fat on that. You know what I mean? So you don't really walk away with very much on them. When we sell those trade paperbacks, I mean they're as if we bundled the books ourselves and had to
Mm-hmm.
take the loss on the discount. Very rarely, you know what I mean, you make very much on selling those trade paperbacks. That's the reason why the single issues are where it's at. So you can't help but wonder, like, what's the over under or the return for these writers that are like working towards the trade paperback, because that fat is definitely not in the comic book shop.
I guess I never considered it from your angle. I always just I don't know. I think when you box yourself into whatever story I'm going to write, I've got to be able to space it out amongst this many issues. That's a bad start to storytelling to me.
I agree.
Um, I feel like the older writers, your Roy Thomases, especially Roy Thomas was great at doing single issues. Just give me a story I can. Who else? I always mess up his last name, but Fabian Nicieza.
Oh yeah, yeah, Fabian.
He
Yeah,
was also good at 1 issue stories. Like that's a lost art anymore. These new guys know. I mean, really think about the comics you read. How many of them are always say part 1 of 3 or part 2 of 7? You
but
just
very
don't.
rarely do we see a one shot.
No,
We don't.
it
We
just
don't.
doesn't happen anymore.
But see, that's the thing. I almost think that the one shot would sell more. Coming from the retail side, people pick up number ones. The speckers pick up number ones. That's one thing. But when you society in general or whatnot, when you're selling stuff, they are looking for the first issue. Uh, just the other day, and I know it's no secret, but Department of Truth is literally my favorite book right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't keep that on the shelf as far as like the series is concerned. I mean, I got plenty of number 5 and 6s sitting up there, ready to rock. But I really cannot keep that on the shelf. All my number 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s that I had a bunch of, that like I ordered a bunch of because I knew it was going to be a good book, gone. They're gone. And when you get a customer that comes in and you tell them this is going to be a great book, they don't want to pick up number 6. They've missed all the episodes before that. They're not going to do that. Nobody's going to jump into number 6. And I think that those one shots really help, the sales, because it's a great story, but you don't have to have all 22 of the story, stuff like that.
And see, when I was a kid, I just wasn't intimidated by that like I am now, because the writers were conscious of it. We always had that little story bar at the top of a comic book that introduced what was going on, would usually name every member of a team, give you a brief sentence about like what the story is so far, and you could just dive in and appreciate it. I just didn't worry about that stuff like I do now.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if you picked up a King in Black, I don't know, pick a run at this point. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, if you picked up a King in Black, pick a run. You may not know what's going on, and to be honest with you, they've started. Even DC's doing this, is to say you're pegging off of, Action Comics to Detective Comics to Future State to Infinite Frontier, and those are all like somehow connected with whatever that continuity is, instead of like, hey, listen, I'd really just like to be able to pick up the book and enjoy the ride.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not there. I'd like to see that make its way back, and maybe that's the end all with these shows and MCUs and stuff like that, is that catch everybody up, everybody knows what's going on, and then you know um, go from there.
And what, Nick, just to get to your previous, we've had a lot of one shots come out with King in Black. That's still part of an event, though, and they'll get included in the King of Black trades. Now, the one example you did give that actually is a true one shot is, there's still a few annuals coming out once in a while, and I am a sucker for an annual. I like self-contained stories. And plus annuals, they'll usually take a chance and give you some like neat little mini stories within it, like a little 5-pager.
Mm-hmm. Well, but see, and that's good. You want that.
I
he
like
also
that
said
stuff.
you don't see any self-isolated single issue books anymore. Okay,
No.
so you don't. You don't. And I definitely want to hear your opinion on this, but no, you absolutely don't. But as far as my opinion on the retail side of things is when you do, it still connects to something else. Like you still need it to connect to something else, and I don't think customers appreciate that. I think retail or wholesale, they appreciate that, but new customers don't appreciate that. They come in and they're so overwhelmed because there's like, why do I got to buy 3 books just to read this book to understand what's going on?
Web of Spider-Man used to be a big source of like one-shot stories. Like, yeah. If you wanted the long-running Spider-Man story, you read ASM. I actually did not get ASM as a kid. I always read Web of Spider-Man, though. Because there were more characters. Nova showed up in those a lot with the New Warriors and stuff. And I just liked it. You usually had wackier team-ups. I'm trying to think of I don't know the issue number, but there was an issue where a kid comes to Spider-Man and he has cancer and he's terminal, and he asks Spidey, for just one night swinging the rooftops with him, and they run into Thor, and the kid asks Thor to like heal his cancer, and and Thor pleads to the universe, to Odin, and basically comes back with, I'm sorry, there's some things even beyond us, and he can't cure the kid. It's just this really cool story, but it never had anything to do with anything else. It was all contained within this story, and they got the job done. They told a good story in 28 pages, 32 back then.
But see, I'd love to read, stories about that. Why does it have to be a run? It doesn't have to be a run.
It's weird to call a 7-issue run lazy, but it is. It's kind of, not everything needs to be stretched out.
Nick's like, I want that. Google, brother.
Yeah, Google. I'm gonna go. I'll research it when we get off here, and I'll send it to you, Nick. I know I own the book, and I can picture the cover in my head, so I'll be able to find it pretty easy. It's a web of Spider-Man.
Well, that alone, it is what it is. I tell you what, since Nick's watching today, I need you to look up. If you can find any Power Broker stuff based off that Captain America 230, and what else do I got to look up? I bet you, I know for a fact I don't have Machine Man number 6, but see if you got the Thing number 35, Nick, while you're at work today.
Oh yeah, Power Broker was in Thing because Thing traveled around with Vance Astrovich, Marvel Boy, future New Warrior at that point. He becomes Justice later on, but back then he was a kid that had mutant powers that had run away from home, and Thing found him in the circus, and then they end up on that pro wrestling circuit with superpowered beings that John Daniels, U.S. agent, ends up becoming a part of, and Power Broker was behind the scenes of that wrestling federation.
Money, dude. You know what? Power Broker might very well be connected. It seems like he unlocks a lot of New Warrior stuff.
But you could also avoid him pretty easily too. I mean, the government could just give Daniels his powers, or John Walker, is it? What's his name? Johnny Walker, John Daniels? I don't know. It's something whiskey related.
I thought it was Walker, actually.
I think you're right. I keep calling him Dan. I just prefer Jack Daniels to Johnny Walker.
It's so stupid. I don't mind Johnny Walker, but Jack Daniels does have a little bit better taste. That's for sure. Well, I tell you what, man, we're running it for 45 minutes, so let's.
We don't need to be on.
Tell you what, let's watch this official trailer here, and wait for Disney to send me a nastygram. And I guess starting next week, man, we're gonna just continue to do the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What do you think?
Oh, I'm excited.
Me also. All right, let me get over here and share this bad boy. And then away we go.
So, who would like to start? Mr. Barnes, why does Sam aggravate you?
15 seconds to drop. So what's our plan? Great.
Superheroes cannot be allowed to exist. I have no intention to leave my work unfinished. The world's upside down right now. Where do we start?
I have a plan. Oh yeah? What is it? Is you ready?
Here we go again, huh?
We've been running hard on the job. Can't take that from Hello, girl, kick your ass.
See? That wasn't so hard.
Are you ready? Is you ready?
Okay.
You say you ready?
What are you doing?
Whole squad ready?
Are you having a staring contest?
Are you ready? Is you ready?
Just blank. Sweet Jesus. I mean, how old are you?
I'm sorry, man, but that's gonna be rad, dude.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm telling you, I think it's gonna be awesome. And anyway, I'm actually looking more forward to this than I was with WandaVision. So, and you should too, man. You're an action dude. You like action.
I'm excited for it, and because I'm excited for it, I've been trying to avoid the commercials.
So okay, all right. That's the first trailer I've actually really watched. Other than today, like I've been reading stuff, but like not watching anything.
And see, I'm purposely not researching it. That's why today everything I brought up was just stuff I knew from reading comics.
No big deal.
Oh, whatever. Stupid stuff about comics like Power Broker.
You know, I mean, it's important to know that it really just comes down to your new show. I think that's coming out. I'm not sure if anybody's heard of it or not, or anything like that. But
all two of my fans will be watching, so really be part of that community.
And I'm really pumped to be a part of that, actually. But I'll tell you, I'm almost actually done with the intro. So
awesome! We need to get on it.
We do. Unfortunately, I was rudely distracted with life things. So
yeah, I'm kind of rocking a similar situation myself. So.
Well, I think it's time to get back to things that are actually fun. And all those other people taking their time away from us are not fun. They're not fun people. Get a life, a-holes. Right?
Right.
I don't know they're not going to watch this, so they're not going to listen. But if they did, they should.
Well, I mean, I'll be talking about stuff I'm passionate about and have a lot of knowledge on. So if anybody feels like being a part of that, I'll certainly, just like we do here, anybody can always pop on and we can talk. The first few episodes will be on comic art, and then I have a few ideas past that.
Man, I can't. I'm telling you, I cannot even wait. I think that the comic art series is just going to be. I'm sounding like, so our new office in our home or whatnot. Our new office will be a Becker inspired home office.
There you go.
I'm telling you, I'm going to get some art.
Art. Well, you collect Captain America stuff, right?
I do. I collect. I like Captain America stuff, and I like the connection essentially of Mjolnir and him being worthy and stuff like that. So that's my only real connection of Thor. Really, is just through Captain America, and then I do actually like. I did not like the comic, I guess, version or the art or even the storyline essentially of Thanos, but I do really like as we move on to a more evolved Thanos, if you will. So I do like Thanos. I've been collecting more Thanos in Captain America more than anything.
So, like, for Thanos comics, what did it for? Because you would have probably read Infinity Gauntlet when it came out, right? That was a huge.
I did as a kid. I did. I read that, and then like I said, a lot of those crisis storylines and stuff like that. Like I read a lot of, so they kind of gave me a cosmic thing. But I just didn't like. I don't know. I just wasn't my thing. Like it was cool, but it really wasn't my thing. What really drove me into Thanos is that the 2018, 2019 Thanos series, and then kind of how
that Johnny Cates took over.
Yeah, That really kind of drove me into the hands of Thanos itself, and I liked kind of how the storyline was going. I liked the connection with the Cosmic Rider and stuff like that, and I just kind of felt like that particular Thanos was just ruthless. And
Yeah,
I liked
Thanos Wins was a good storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Donny Cates does an amazing job. Just
Especially on his Special Forces Truck Driver series, I'm going to get you to read.
I will read it, man. I will read it. I will. I'll totally read it.
Not that great, but you should read it.
Now, I will tell you, and I'm just going to do a quick teaser, that I am starting to hear that a good friend may be making his way back to the shop. I don't know if you guys know him or not, but this good friend will be coming back hopefully very soon. So that'll be good.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. All right. Well, I'll tell you what.
JR from the old WWF days. By God, that's Mr. McCobb's music.
Yes, sir. You goddamn right. You boys don't even know.
Good old JR.
Well, guys, thank you guys so much for joining in, and I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. I got chores to do. I don't know about you, Mike, but I got poop to do.
Yep, same here.
All right. Well, tell everybody, said, have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Later, man.